Hello, everybody. We're coming back now and about to get started with our fellowship for tonight. I have a series of things that we can perhaps talk about. However, I would like to actually go another route. Um, I have a few questions that I would actually like to ask you all. 1 second. So, for those of you that are here and you're familiar with the organization that we're a part of and that we talk about so often, we're going to talk about tonight what it is that you perhaps would like to see. So, right now, we know that there's some changes perhaps coming up, and we know that there's a series of events that are taking place. Good evening. How you doing? Let me see if there's anybody waiting on Zoom. But we know that there's some things going on and some things that's going to be taking place relatively soon. I have maintained that quite a few things are going to be happening, and it can be any day now. It can be the next week or two. However, let me say that I want to kind of, for those of you who are constantly saying, I'm looking for this to happen. I can't wait for this to happen. It's been a long time coming. But at the same token, we have several individuals who have, okay, so good. We have, can you go and get, we have several individuals that have stated that they're waiting. They would like to hurry up to see what's coming. Quickly, they're at the door. And the thing is, no, Maria. Yeah. The thing is that there's a lot of course, expectation and participation and let me turn this down. Oh, and can you mute your on your line? Okay. Thank you. We have several individuals that's coming on, and we're just making sure that we're up and running. This normally takes us a couple of minutes or so bear with us. But like I said, we want to kind of give you guys the opportunity to at least let us know what it is that you'd like to see. And by that, I mean, you all tell me, what changes would y'all like to see take place? When you hear the word change, we know that change is coming, but what does change look like in your eyes? For those of you who are familiar with what it is that we've been talking about, what does change look like to you? So anybody, if you are a former member, if you are a current member, even right now still participating, what would you like to see? Now, we already have a list compiled of things that we're doing. We already have several things that we're working on. We have several programs that we're going to be projecting. We have several things that we're going to be setting up. But while you're thinking about that, let me say this. I thought last week when I heard that there was a standing request made by Mr. Cunningham, that he wanted 10,000 people to give $500. I thought, and I incorrectly and mistakenly told you all that this is for next year, that for the year that he's looking for $500 from 10,000 people. We know that that's $5 million. I thought what that sounded like was kind of off. It didn't sound quite right for the entire year because they're constantly pushing Addie's Club $2,000 each time he comes. But for $500 from 10,000 people for the entire year is what I reported to you all. I recently discovered that that's not the case. He's not looking for $500 from 10,000 people. For next year, he's looking for $500 from 10,000 people right now before this year is out. I did not know what to say. I had no idea what to say. $500 from 10,000 members before the year is out. Again, $5 million. I'm looking for $5 million in the next few weeks. I did not think that the request was for this year because the members of the organization just came through a convocation season where they travel. Several was traveling. Now, mind you, the choirs, they don't get any money from the organization. The bands, they do not get any money from the organizations. The choirs are not assisted when it comes to their travel. The bands get no assistance when it comes to their travel. When they stay in the hotel, you can go right now on THUPFAP dot, I think it's org. THUPFHP, the United House of Prayer for All People. THUPFAP.org. It's either .org or .com. And scroll down, you'll see a banner pertaining to convocation season. I think they're now promoting Miami. And go to the hotel reservation section and look at the prices of the hotels. For anybody who's looking at acquiring a room through the House of Prayer Coalition, you're easily going to be looking at anywhere from $300 to $700 just for hotels for those 2 nights, or 3 nights, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Now, that's not to include transportation there. It's not to include your food. What are you going to eat while you're there? It's not to include, for those who ride the buses, it's not including the fact that they're going to be raising love gift for him on the buses. And then when they get there, right now they're promoting a display. It's called a presentation. But the hope is to get people to come to Miami to put on a presentation, a dance with songs. And then what? The remainder is to give more money. Throughout the entire service, each night, to give more money. The food, to buy the food that's there on the parking lot, down in the kitchen, anywhere else is set up. But to give more money. The Love March, what we refer to as Love March, is the members are called to get up, march around. It's a big to-do. The point that I'm making is the idea is to call people forward, go to Miami, and you're going to look at anywhere from $500 to $1,000. Now, for the people who have traveled, again, choirs did not get assistance. Bands did not get assistance. This came out of their pocket, however they could raise it. But for those who traveled, it's their dime. Convocation now over. They got ready for announcement weekend in Washington, went to announcements for those who were there. Hotel expense. Whenever you stay in a hotel through the coalition, you're going to pay regular, if not an increased room rate. You're going to pay regular, if not an increased room rate. Why is it not discounted? I said before, I'll say it again, because every member of the House of Prayer that acquires a room through the coalition, every dollar spent goes towards a point membership. I can't remember the name, but it goes on a membership card. Points are awarded to the bishop of the House of Prayer. And these are points that they help to use to create a discount for them, whether it's free travel by plane, car rentals, cruises, hotel stays, whenever they have to come out of pocket. So it becomes literally another type of front for the individuals that are utilizing the services in order to get a room where the bishop is going to benefit. This is also, again, another scam, unfortunately, for the members. The idea right now is that he wants the people who just went to Washington, the people who were traveling, the people who had contributed towards whether it's G-Class or Love Gift, $500 before the end of the year. Not to mention Thanksgiving they just had. People are ready for the season right now, giving gifts. People are traveling to visit family, friends, all of these things, but yet the request is for $10,000 to give $500 before this year is out. Now, I'm going to say this. The guards, we have guards. And if I'm not mistaken, Perry, Mr. Perry, formerly pastor, they've been terminated. But he contacted one of the guards to inquire about whether or not he made his report. The guard did not have the money to make a report. So as the story goes, the guard was sat down. He's silenced. He cannot serve. He can't travel as a guard. He can't. I'm sorry. I'm chuckling because it makes no sense. Just like the bands, I've said this before, the bands don't get paid. The bands give money in order to perform. I've said before, the choirs don't get paid. The choirs give money in order to perform. Nowhere that I'm familiar with in the world do musicians go around and pay people to let them come and play or sing to entertain the crowd. Every other musician, they get paid. But the musicians of the United House of Prayer for All People are so devoted and they love so much what they're doing. Their passion is to sing. Their passion is to play to such an extent that these young men are playing and beating crash cymbals, the young ladies with the tambourines. They're getting together every single week, sometimes 3, 4, 5 times a week to play. And people wonder why the bands of the House of Prayer are so untouchable. We have talent in this organization, believe it or not, that can shut down anything wherever they go in the world. We have young men, 9, 10, 11 years old, playing instruments that equals individuals that's been playing for 20 years at 9. There's a young man, I'm not going to say his name, you all know. He's currently one of the individuals acting as a pastor. But I used to watch him as a child. He was a child. At 8 and 9 years old, this young man played a drum set that you would just look and you would sometimes, the stuff that he could do. The young guys playing, even women playing trombones. We have some play saxophone, others clarinet. Untouchable. My point is this. They're not getting any money. They're paying money. And the request is being made for them to give $500 each. This security, the guard who serves in security, is not able to travel or do his job because he can't give $500 right now. I'm wondering why he's not saying, well, thank you. Security is putting their life on the line. And while they're putting their lives on the line, they're not getting a dime. Just like the bands that travel are not getting a dime. The choirs that travel are not getting a dime. And now security, you're saying that you can't perform, you can't do your job because you did not give more money in the form of G class when I wanted you to. Now, many people are not going to like what I'm about to say. But a lot of members have been saying online, well, it's all free will. People give because they want to give. Nobody's making them. Nobody's holding anything to their head. But isn't this exactly what people are denying when they say nobody's making them? Are you not actually forcing people to give when the threat is that you cannot serve, you cannot perform? If you're not a high-paying band, don't expect to travel when Mr. Administration is traveling around the country. Don't expect to play in front of the large crowds. If you're not giving top dollar as a choir, don't expect to perform when we're drawing huge numbers in the House of Prayer services. Don't you expect to sing? No, because you didn't give. And now security has to worry. Security has to worry about giving, or else I can't stand on my post outside in the cold. Right now, around the clock, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, there's security at the headquarters, Portal Drive. They're sitting in the cold with thermal coats on, bundled up, scarves, earmuffs, mittens. Is so messed up. It's so messed up. It's not funny. It's ridiculous that you're treating people that are obviously, there's still a handful of people that don't know about the videos, but these people are so devoted. They're so loyal. that they're willing to sit outside in the cold and shiver while looking at nothing because nobody's coming to do any harm to who they're protecting inside. They're drinking hot chocolate to try to warm down. It is pathetic. And they have to travel that way as well, sitting in cars. Sometimes to try to get some sleep, they're sleeping in cars. These people are being forced to do this. And we're saying that the people are giving money because they choose to? No, not at all. They're being threatened that if you don't do it, you can't perform. It's an intimidation tactic. Rain says, when you could be using points for yourself to get discount. Right. Every bishop of the organization travels. And they spend at times their own money. Well, money that they got from the organization. But again, when the members acquire a room, every single time it goes under the House of Prayer Coalition, those dollars goes to the account on behalf of whoever's sitting in the administration for their award points to build. When the members could be, is her point, using your own membership, getting your own hotel. I never used the House of Prayer Coalition. Never. All my 40 years, not once, 40 plus years, not once did I use Hotel Coalition because I saw it's a scam. There's no way in the world I'm going to pay $225 a night to stay where they say we stand when I can get a hotel for $69. And that's what I did. And even as a pastor, I got discounts for any member. You come to San Antonio, you use these hotels, they're going to give you 20 to 40% off. 40%. If I could do that, why couldn't this big old organization with staff members set up this type of discount? My point is that the people, you could be using your own points to save yourself some money since all this travel is coming out of your own pocket. It's not coming out of the organization's pocket. It's not coming out of Mr. Administration's pocket. It's coming out of your pocket. And the common sense and the wisdom would be for me, especially if I'm a choir member, I'm a band member, or I'm a guard, I'm on the road all the time because he says to be here, meet me wherever. So this is why a lot of people find this ludicrous, but they don't understand that people are so devoted. And their devotion is to do what they're doing with 100% loyalty. Kareen also says, you will get a cheaper discount rate if you go through Pam Clay. That's if you feel you have to travel right now. Pam Clay, we have members around the organization that sometimes set up their own business and they reach out, they appeal to the members of the organization. However, I've also seen members of the organization receive some backlash from the administration for doing things to save the members' money. I did not understand that. Why is it that you're being told by the leadership, no, we don't do that. We have our own system set up. You don't do that. And then they would write letters to the organization to not use outside services or other services that have not been approved by the leadership. But we know that that letter was meant for the member who was giving discounts to other members. And this is a problem because it looked like the leadership is not thinking about the members, but the members are always thinking about the leadership. So when the members went to Washington, again, loyal, devoted, and dedicated, many members got very, very angry. when they knew that there was a partial government shutdown and nothing was done for the people. Absolutely zero. And just like this guard who was silenced, still silenced right now, just like this guard, nothing was being done to help. Now, there is an announcement or an advertisement that says that the House of Prayer is offering assistance for anybody who needs help, financial help. If you need help, I said last week that, and the week before, all you have to do is go to those that are there, part of this committee, let them know what your needs are. They'll give you paperwork to fill out the paperwork. You fill out the paperwork, they will examine your information. And if you are a faithful member, if you're not, they turn you away. You have to be a faithful member. If you're not a faithful member, you're not going to get the help. But if you are a faithful member, if you are, submit the paperwork. And what will happen is they will give you a list of resources where you can go and get help. It is just another scam. It is done to make it look like the administration is doing something to help the people. But not one person has come forward to say, I got help, I got assistance, I know the program is real. You won't find one person. I challenge everybody to find one person who received financial assistance from this administration, who's already terminated. They know it, but one person. Now, here's another kicker. There's a sign: if you need financial help, let us know, we will help you, but only if you're a faithful member. Here's your problem with that. They also received news that he's going to begin evictions, putting people out that may be behind on their rent. Okay. If you're going to help anybody who needs financial assistance, wouldn't the members of the organization who can't pay their rent, wouldn't they qualify for financial assistance? How can you justify evicting members who all these years was giving love gift to you? Tens of thousands of dollars of their money went inside your pocket. Tens and hundreds of thousands of dollars of their money went inside G-Class. Tens and hundreds of thousands of dollars of their money went into tithes, which I told you before, also goes into the pocket of whoever's in the administration. None of those things have been denied. All of those things are verified. The tithes goes into his pocket. Now, here's the thing. Here's the problem. When we look at what's going on, and you say that you're setting up help for the people, but nobody gets help, and now you're talking about evicting, putting people out, while simultaneously, at the same time, you send out a request to the organization that you want 10,000 people to give $500. But during announcement weekend in Washington, while there's an issue with the partial government shutdown, there's a furlough, people not getting paid. Many of the members work for the government, not getting checks. People wondering how they're going to eat. Well, all these years dumping and giving, inside of our organization, faithfully, religiously, 100% loyal. But the time comes for the people who are in need to receive. We're told, trust in God. But all those times, for all these many years, over 100 years, when you are in need, you asking for the people to give. There's a book with the founder who wrote a letter from Cuba. I can get it right now. Wrote a letter from Cuba and asked the members of the House of Prayer to raise $50,000. If I'm not mistaken, this was in the 1930s, to raise $50,000 and then send it to Cuba so that the mansion that he was in can be repaired from hurricane damage. And then told the members that this is your beautiful property. I want someday to bring you so that you can enjoy the pretty things that we've been blessed with. The $50,000 in the 1930s was not going to benefit the people of the House of Prayer. It was going to benefit a handful of people who's over the House of Prayer. Just like then, other times things came up. We have this. There's a program called Back the Attack. Back the Attack was an offering that was set up in order for people of the House of Prayer to contribute money that will go towards a legal defense fund in the event that people try to sue the organization. Well, the members can contribute money to help towards the defense of the organization. And it was called Back the Attack. Today, we still have individuals collecting for Back the Attack. This is another way of saying we need to increase this fund for this reason. Another one, the scholarship fund. Help us raise funds for individuals who are trying to go to college to better themselves. Give us funds to go into the scholarship fund, a separate account that will be used for that purpose. We will help send people to college. Another one is Grace Aid. For the seniors that are ministers and they're retiring because of their age, they can't do more. They're at a point where they cannot take care of themselves since they're up in age. We will give them a small stipend for the rest of their lives for devoting themselves to the ministry. Grace Aid. You all give and help us build that fund. I can continue example after example after example. Scholastic Achievement Awards program. Asking the people, give. We have over 21 different types of offerings. We have this going on, give. We have that going on, give. Last year, the members were told, for those who are going to Miami, if you have children, the administration, Mr. Cunningham, was going to pay for all the children to go to Miami. That did not happen. The pastors were told to take up an offering from the members that will be able to be used to help pay for the children that's going to go to Miami. People are tired. They didn't raise a whole lot. So a small portion of that money went to each child as a discount on their seat. The children who had to get a hotel room, This is when I was warning parents, don't send your children to Miami. So many things are going on with the children that parents don't know anything about. You got adults telling you what was going on with them when they were children. With these men all across the top, all kinds of things going on, parents know nothing about. Adults are telling you, they're telling you what happened to them as a child. All that said, the money did not go towards the hotel rooms. The members are now seeing anything almost that is being told to them to help raise this money, and the money going to go to this, the money going to go to that, the money going to go. The members are at, where's the money going? I said all that to say this. Washington, D.C. announcement weekend. While people are in need, 42 million families wondering what's going to happen with the SNAP program that's not coming through our organization. This is federal. While they're waiting to find out what's happening there, we should have assistance for the members of the organization who's constantly giving, because it's constantly being told to us that whenever trouble comes, well, I'm going to have to take care of you. The organization is going to have to provide for you. Okay. Time and time and time and time and time and time again, the members are in need. Natural disasters, whatever, economy issues. But nobody can identify one time, not one, when the members of the organization ever saw a program that all around the country people could tap into as a resource for assistance. Never has it happened in 100 years, to my knowledge, which is why I say all the time, if anybody can correct me, please correct me. The people of Washington, D.C., who was there announcement weekend, and those who traveled to be there, I pointed out and identified outside the front, there's a car, the latest model Maybach, had a paper tag. Had a paper tag. That same Maybach that had a paper tag at that time now, about 30 some days later, is no longer paper. That's a real plate, right? It's no longer paper. It's a real plate. Same rims that you saw in the last picture. Same car. Now, mind you, that same night, he told the members to tighten your belt. He told the members, time's going to be hard. We got to trust in God. Don't have, trust in God. Lose job, trust in God. No food, set the tables up anyway, trust in God. Now, here's my problem. I said earlier tonight, Bible study, that the scripture tells us, what good is it to tell somebody who's naked and cold to go and be ye warm? It doesn't do anything. What good does it do to tell somebody who's hungry to go and be ye filled? Doesn't do anything. Here's another example. The scripture tells us that there was a young rich man who came and asked him, what must I do to receive eternal life? You know the commandments? Keep them. I've done that all my life since I was a youth. Okay. If you would be perfect, go and sell all you have. take that, give it to the poor, and come and follow me, and you'll have great rewards in heaven. Now, the scripture tells us that that young man went away sad. Others would have went, oh my gosh, just sell and give it to the poor and come and follow you? I'm already guaranteed to get in, and you're telling me that I'll have riches in heaven? All I got to do is sell this stuff, give it to the poor. Sell it and give it to the poor. I just asked about everlasting life. You told me I've been keeping the commandments all my life. I have everlasting life if I just keep doing that. And now you said if I would be perfect, just sell and give to the poor. He went away sad. Why was he sad? The scripture says, because he had much riches. Mr. Cunningham telling the people, trust in him. But Mr. Cunningham, Mrs. Madison, many of these pastors that y'all don't know about, former pastors, councilmen in the house of prayer, many of them got hundreds of thousands. Some of them have millions that y'all don't know nothing about because of the money they've been stealing from this organization. And they're telling you to trust in God, while you see them riding around in the best late model luxurious cars, while you see them living in some beautiful, well-furnished, well-lit houses. Some got houses on the beach that y'all don't know nothing about. Some have more than 4 homes that y'all don't know nothing about. Some of them are renting out houses from the money that they stole that y'all don't know anything about. Some of them are owners of companies or businesses that y'all don't know anything about from money that they've embezzled. But y'all are hungry. We sitting back saying, it's time for us who are in need, but where's the attention? Oh, no. Y'all trust in God. And after Mr. Cunningham walks out the door to get inside the vehicle that he just bought about 10 days earlier, the members get nothing out of all the tithes that he says is not going in his pocket. I showed in the scripture that the tithes is supposed to be meat in his house so that the people, whenever they're in need, you go into the meat closet, pull that food out, give it to the people. They never opened up a meat closet because there is no meat closet. All that money went inside of his pocket. They're taking it all and giving you nothing. And now a few days later, during the time, the most wonderful time of the year, he says, give me $500 more in G-class from 10,000 people. Not to mention the pastors around the organization who's also terminated with him are still there. And they're having anniversaries telling the members to give all they can to their pastors. To give all they can. 6 and M Street, Mr. Taylor. $27,000 every week is what? 3,000, somewhere between 3 and 4,000. Other pastors, tens of thousands, 10, 15, 20,000. Some of the not so big houses, maybe 5,000. Smaller congregations, 3,000, 2,000. The smallest try to get 1,000. And the biggest don't do anything to help them because it's every man for himself. Now, my problem is this. While you know around the entire organization, people are trying to get together with families. They're trying to enjoy what little teeny tiny bit they have left. It's just like Willy Wonka taking advantage of Charlie and his family, taking everything Charlie and his family got left. Now, we know in that movie, Willy Wonka ended up giving everything to Charlie. But before that happened, Willy Wonka wasn't thinking about giving Charlie a thing. He only thought about his company going on while he retired by bringing Charlie in so he can run it for him. But Willy Wonka had everything. And Willy Wonka had shut himself off to the world, even though the world wanted to see him. They want to talk to him. They want to tour the factory. They want what he has. In the house of prayer, the members, they want to see him. They want to talk to him. They want to fellowship with him. But in here, he's going around and he's trapped himself in, just like Willy Wonka. You can't see him. You can't meet with him. You can't talk to him. You cannot ever even question him. You can't ask a question. And those around him will keep you from him. But the scripture said, he that's greatest among you, let that one be everybody's servant. The Messiah got down on his knees and washed dusty, dirty, dingy feet of each and every disciple in there. He did the job of the lowest household servant to honor those who come into the master's home. It was such a lowly job that they felt some type of way with him washing their feet. If anything, we should be washing your feet. But he was teaching them as an example, you make sure that you, when the time comes, humble yourself and serve everybody else the same way I have served you. You see me serve other people. This guard who's been sat down and silenced, like all these other guards, traveling and putting their lives on the line, whatever comes, they're there. Standing outside in the rain, the sleet, the cold, and the snow, even in the heat of the day. People don't think about that. In the heat of the day, summertime, they out there sweating. Shirts be soaked and wet from sweat. And they get not a dime. I said before, it is a thankless job. They don't even hear thank you. Those who might be right around him, but those who are outside, those sitting in the cold, the ones sleeping in the car, they don't hear no thank you. They don't even get a cup of coffee. They're just told to be at the next spot, which is why I told the members, if anything, y'all should appreciate what the guards do, what they go through, because they're not a part of the politics going on in the organization. And I use as an example, just like Secret Service, when it comes to the presidents, they're not involved in the politics. Secret Service not worrying about a Democrat. Secret Service not worrying about a Republican. You got the same men and women right there. Same thing with the staff at the White House. They ain't worried about who coming through that door. They're just there to do their job. Whoever come in the door, whoever is next, we're here to serve. You can't say, how can you serve that man? That's their job. It's not about who is there. It's about my job serving whoever is there. That's how the service in the house of prayer is concerning the guards. They're not into the politics. They ain't worrying about all this stuff. And they out there in the cold, just like Secret Service is out in the cold. They're out there in the heat, just like Secret Service is in the heat. And the members of the house of prayer don't understand because the leaders don't give them any clout whatsoever. None. So they got to put up with it. And here's one person who's now sat down to embarrass and humiliate him. That's what it's for. And if I was that person or any other guard, I wouldn't be doing it in the first place, not getting anything. I can't even get help. I got to travel out of my pocket. I got to do all this stuff out of mine. Even band members, now that I know better, I'm not traveling all over the country, spending money out of my pocket just to play there while the whole service, you just collecting and collecting and collecting money. And I know that while I'm doing what I'm doing, I'm actually helping the people give you more. And you doing not a thing for us. Even the marching bands, when the marching bands go and travel for these parades, whether it's Washington, D.C., whether it's Savannah, Georgia, Columbia, not one penny is sent to help them. Some of the marching bands, bless their heart, they just want to serve. But their parents don't have the money to pay for little Gerald or little Timmy or little Marcia to get the uniform shoes. So you see them marching. Some got Adidas, some got Nikes, some got Reeboks, some got All-Star, Converse, some got, you just see different shoes. Sometimes they don't have enough to get a uniform at all. So you see black pants, white shirt. Because it's in their heart. And when you're dealing with people that's that devoted and that dedicated and that faithful, and in their minds and in their hearts, that's all they want to do is serve. And you're sitting with all this money like that rich young ruler, and you sad because somebody tell you you need to help these people. You don't need to be trusting God. You help them. What's the point of saying y'all trust? Lean on him, lean on him. While you come in and you taking in bagfuls of money out there to that brand new Maybach to put inside the trunk and roll off again. So my point is, all these things should not be, and they only continue if the members continue doing it. When you get to a point when you get sick and tired and fed up of being taken advantage of and used and lied and mistreated, then that's when things begin to change. So here we are tonight in another fellowship. And if I'm not mistaken, he's right now looking to be up north after the new year. And he's coming back to Washington. And there's a notice that just went out about the visit back to Washington. And one of the men there who's acting as a pastor sent a text to the members. We need. He's coming back. He's coming back. He's coming back. And this text that went out, it says, I'm going to let you all see it. Just turn it so that you can read it. No, there's a glare, but I'm going to show it to you. I'm going to read it. Peace. Look who's coming to town. Addie Cunningham is coming to town. This is like the Santa Claus theme. He doesn't have a sleigh, nor is coming with toys, but he is coming with blessings from on high. Ad will be in 6th Street, Saturday, January 3rd at 8 p.m. and Sunday, January 4th at 5 p.m. We will be making our convocation report and Christmas love gift on Saturday. Asking all who can, let's do our very best. You may not have what you wish or desire, but don't let your name go without anything. Sunday is rally day. Monday is rally night. Tuesday is rally night. Wednesday is rally night. Thursday is rally night. Friday is rally night. And Saturday, you guessed it, is rally night. Why? Because Addie is coming. Now, again, for those people who keep saying that the members of House of Prayer they give free willingly. It's because they want to get, when you have men like this that's pushing you and telling you, don't let your name be blank. That's because, again, this is an intimidation factor. And they use these types of tactics to embarrass the members of the organization by having your names called out. And if your name is called out and there's 0 beside it, well, it's embarrassing. When you have your name called out and you have nothing beside it, it's humiliating. They've been doing the same thing for individuals with rent. They call their name out in the microphone doing services. Now, you may say, yeah, but people need to pay their rent. Well, we need to look at the organization that they're part of. Because you have a man who's saying, if you don't have $500, you can't serve. You have a man who's saying, if you don't have top money, then you can't play. You can't sing. And it's every single week, week in, week out, gimme, 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 gimme. And now there's members all over Washington, D.C. who's asking this question. He was just here. How's he going to come right now looking for a report? I'm not going to say any names, but there's somebody who's very well known who reported on Facebook. It makes no sense. All this money going into the House of Prayer. Where is the money going? And we're always giving and never receiving. Nobody doing anything for us. Now, people can say anything they want to, but the truth of the matter is that nothing's being done for the people. And when you talk about evicting, then that makes it worse. And for those persons who keep on defending this type of behavior, what's going to happen when you are in a situation when you lose your job and you can't pay your bill? All of a sudden, you're not going to be saying, well, them people need to anymore. Because now it's come around full circle back to you. And all those individuals who can't pay that bill, why would they worry about being evicted if their name is not on a lease, but their name is on a G-class slip where that person just gave $8,000. And their name is also on a love gift form where that person just gave $3,000 and their name might be on scholarship, Scholastic Achievement Awards, Grace Aid, Chairman's Travel, representative gift, pastor's travel, the parsonage expense fund, the state assessment. Their name is on everything, 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 everything. How dare you ask me about rent when my money is going into the same organization that I'm renting my apartment from, which my apartment was paid for by my money too. But yet you sitting at the top, you're not paying rent. You're living in mansions all around the organization, 15, 20,000 square feet. I have 3 children and we're in a 1,100 square foot apartment. And now you're saying that you want to put me out because I didn't have my rent this month after I just reported $5,000. Tell you what, take my rent out of the $5,000, and all you have to do is transfer it from Love Gift to rent, or transfer it from G Class to rent, or transfer it from Tithes to rent, transfer it from Chairman's Travel to rent. Take it out of Pastor's Anniversary and put it in my rent. Since all of this money is in the same account for the same organization who I'm paying my rent to, take that money off those lists, put it on my rent. That's what the members should be saying. Because by now it's obvious that every single thing that's being said to the members of the house of prayer has been a lie after lie after lie after lie. And not one person has been able to come out into the open and call me out yet and prove me wrong. I've asked, what is it that the leaders do? Because for those who don't know, every single time he goes to service, all those people who are there, just like Miami, you look online, they're talking about raising more, raising more. We want to have an outstanding love march. They're advertising to raise money for one person. This is not about soul salvation. This is not about holiness. This is not about righteousness. This is not about eternal life. This is about the enrichment of 1, 2, 3, 4, or a little bit more people, because they got their hands in the pie and the members of the organization not getting anything out of it. So I keep saying that people might not like hearing it, but the truth hurts. And if you don't like hearing it, it's only because that is a sign that the man is telling the truth. If it's so sensitive that hurts your feelings and stings, it's because the truth hurts and you're still indoctrinated. I didn't like to hear it neither when I was indoctrinated. And anytime you say something about no, but I was indoctrinated. Nobody likes to be played a fool. And when you show somebody that they're acting like one, and you out here, you can't eat, your bill's not getting paid. Y'all sat there and heard me play a recording where he said, there's some of you right now sitting out there and you think about, well, I don't have nothing but my cell phone money. He said, but y'all go ahead and give that too, because you know you're going to be blessed. And then before you get out the door, you realize that there's a blessing waiting on. Why can't you do that? Why are you not giving? Why, after all of this money coming in, are you still expecting the members, when you travel, to pay for your hotel and your food? and anybody traveling with you. For all of these people who got money in their bank accounts, hundreds of thousands and millions in their bank account. Same thing with Dolores Madison. Hundreds of millions of dollars. Why take a love gift? I understand this year, Mother's Day, this year in Philadelphia, Mr. Commodore raised Mother's Day love gift for Mr. Cunningham. What is this? And now Mr. Cunningham goes to collect a Mother's Day love gift. And in defense, in order to justify, because people find this kind of weird. Well, there's some people who I can be a mother to you too. Well, we know that this is only being said because I don't want to give that back. And now to go back to Washington, and people are saying that, wait a minute, he's coming back. He was just here. What are we going to have? There was a standing order from Mr. McCullough. I have to give him his props on at least this. His standing order was for the months of November and January. I have the letter. I can get the letter and read it. In the months of November and December, not one pastor better have an anniversary. Don't raise not a thing from the members of the organization. That is the end of the year. They should have some time where they get to enjoy with their families. That did come from Mr. McCullough. I got to give him props. At least, if nothing else, he did that. This is so disturbing on so many levels because it goes to show that different administrations, they don't even follow what the one before them said. Because Mr. Cunningham, he ain't thinking about what Mr. McCullough said. Now, forget what he said. But on the road, he's always talking about, I remember Mr. McCullough said this. I remember he said that. He calls him, I remember this. I remember that. But you don't remember the things that says, don't let them people raise no money. You don't remember that. You don't remember that. But everything else you remember. So while people are suffering, and during the same time, the partial shutdown was taking effect, you're still raising how much money? Instead of $3,000, it's going to be $5,000 next year to walk down this carpet. I'm walking on the carpet. I'll be at the front in 6 minutes to stand there, waiting for 100 some people's name to be called while they walk down the carpet. And now we all can't fit up here. So some got to stand on the carpet. And then we wait. Because when they call our name again, now we walk back down the carpet to our seat. And in order to do that, it's only going to cost you $5,000. This is an absolute joke. And now to come back and not hope that you spend time with family, not to give you a break at all, but now to come back to Washington and look for Christmas love gift. No, give me mine. Where's mine? Where's my Christmas? All of y'all around DC, Charlotte Mission, Washington, number 2. He calls it 6 and Elm Street, H Street, number 2 house in the whole organization. Charlotte Mission, number 2. H Street beat you, Charlotte Mission. H Street tore you up. That's what he wants you to think. H Street beat Anacostia. H Street beat Marshall Heights. H Street beat West Baltimore. H Street beat New York Mother House. H Street beat Newport News, Virginia. Portsmouth, Virginia. You too, Alexandria, Mr. Jackson. H Street beat you. Charlotte, Mother House. Augusta, Mother House. H Street Mission knocked your socks off. Los Angeles, California. Philadelphia, North Philly. H Street whipped the tar off of you. That's what they want you to believe. H Street beat everything except 6&M. But not only do I want y'all to believe me when I tell you, because after all, I am who I am. And obviously I don't lie because I represent him. Well, y'all have to know something is wrong somewhere. But even when you accept my lies, I'm still going to come and tell you, all of y'all need to raise my Christmas. Give to me. I don't care what you've not done for yourselves or anybody else. Give to me. And I'm coming around to collect. I'm not coming to leave anything, which is why that Mr. said, he's not coming with a sleigh full of toys. No, he's not coming to leave anything. He coming to clean house. This is the real live Grinch who's coming to take all the toys from Whoville and take them back to where he lives, and he's going to enjoy it, while also taking the milk and cookies that you leave. If you don't understand the mind job that it takes to get people to cooperate in abuse, neglect, and manipulation, people, I don't know what else to tell you. I can tell you this. There's a young man, like I said, who went on Facebook, said it makes no sense where this money is going. No sense. We don't know. Nothing's being done for us. We giving. But the people in need. But nothing is ever being done for us. You're talking about a list where we can go to get help. You don't need to be sending us somewhere to get help. You are the help. You got our money in those accounts while you buying Maybachs and $5,000 hats for Miss Madison to wear or Miss Cunningham to wear. These are your hats. And then you're going to come in our face and auction the clothes off for us to give you $2,000 for that suit that we can't wear. It's such a joke. People, I need to hear from you all. What is the change that you're looking for? Let me read some of the comments. Kareem says, now think about that. You get sat down for traveling at your own expense to protect the bishop. So now that you don't have money for a financial report to give the organization. And what they're saying, she's saying, you gave all this money, traveled all these places, and now I don't have it. I just don't have it. Thanksgiving is here. My family, whatever. And now we have Christmas. Everyone all over the country, we know what goes on Christmas. Whether you believe in it or not, we know what goes on. I just don't have it. When can I take care of myself? When can I take care of me? And you're going to penalize me because I don't peel off $500 more of money that I don't have? Tell you what, I'll give it to you out of my rent. Here's my rent. Take that. But then you're going to put me out for not paying my rent. We have some very serious problems, people, that we are getting ready to fix. So we're going to do what we can to fix it. So you all stand by for standby. Corinne also says you cannot spend your own money to travel to protect the bishop. Shake my head. And it is sad. It is sad. Peace Abide says, in regards to your question, what changes I would like to see in the UHOP? I would like to see no more Addie's Club. Would like no more requests for love gift in every service, 7 days a week, etc. And those are very good changes because it only makes sense. Why are they asking for Addie's Club? Number one, what is Addie's Club? Number two, what is Addie's Club for? Number three, now y'all need to think about this because the way people pull wool over people's eyes is by using language that you don't understand the meaning of. So there was a time when G class was called the convocation program. We call it G class, C class, F class, so on and so forth. But now it's called Addie's Club. Well, if I call a program after my name, maybe that money can go into my pocket. This is Joseph Club. Now, I can tell you all day long that it's going to go over here. But the reality is it's my name on it. Now are you beginning to understand why so many celebrities, they will start up a foundation? The Joseph M. Lewis Foundation is a charity for this, that, and the other. But I get to decide what's going to happen with that money. And there's nobody to determine or verify that I'm using the money that comes to my foundation for charitable causes. And if I use 10% of it for a charity, all good, because people are going to say, wow, that foundation, they're really doing it, man. You see what they did for this people over here? So if I put my name in front of it, then is it lawfully and legally mine? Addie's Club, does that belong to the organization or does that belong to Addie? Similarly, what about the Lady D Scholastic Achievement Awards program? Asking you all to give. But why are members who are in poverty being asked to give $20, $25, $30, $40, $50, when Miss Dolores Madison is a multi-millionaire? Makes you say, And when I talked about it on the video, that's when she came to take her hand off and turn the program over to Miss Debbie Cunningham. Think about this for a moment. To see Addie's Club gone, no more requests for love gift. Those are both very good requests. And when we get done, that program will be gone. When we get done, I'll say that again, that program will be gone. No more G class, convocation, period. No more money. Gone. We're not asking people for a dime. Love gift, gone. Period. How much would it change your life to not have anybody sitting in front of you telling you every single week that you need to give love gift? 130 plus congregations every single Sunday raising love gift. How much money is going in that man's pocket? While he telling you to tighten your belt, while he telling you to trust in God. Every week, love gift being raised for him. And he going around the country doing what? Bringing blessings? How about the opposite? How's he bringing blessings, Mr. Former Pastor? When the people that are looking for him to bless them, he won't do anything. People sick in front of him, he does nothing. Some of those who are sick in front of him get worse when he gets involved. No more G class, no more love gift. Pastor's offering, out. What can you do when you're no longer being tasked to give? That's the only reason why they're telling you to come out every night. And for the members who do or used to go out every single night, you all tell me, how many times were you getting a sermon? How many times you've been, and then it's time to get the word? Well, we don't want to worry your patience long. We know the hour is far spent. We know that people got to get up and go to work tomorrow. We know that there's children who still got school. Oh, all of a sudden, it's time to leave after you've collected the money and it's time for us to get the word. No, these are excuses. Now, you're going to give some word tonight. Problem is, they know it's a scam. They got you to come expecting the word so that they can get you to give more money every single night of every single week. And when there's not a program going on, a lot of times now it's to the point neighborhoods see empty parking lots. Ain't nobody there. No one. Some houses now is to the point nobody's there till Sunday. Some of those same houses now is to the point that on Sunday, you have a handful of people. So that is out. G-Class, gone. Addie's Club, gone. Love Gift, gone. All these things that has been a financial burden on the people, gone. The problem here is that our people have been taken advantage of for so long, they don't know what it feels like to be treated right. They don't know what it feels like to be loved. They don't know what it feels like to be appreciated. They don't know what it feels like to be lifted up. They don't know what it feels like. I'm going to use the word that was used to the disciples. The people don't know what it feels like to be served. These men have taken, and that's all they did. They took, and they took, and they took. That's all they did. And the people are accustomed to it. And it's almost to the point where there's such psychological manipulation and mental trauma that's been caused that people are afraid. It's just like a woman that's been beat by a man over and over and over and over again. When that woman finally is rid of that man, she don't want no other man. She don't trust no matter how good that man is, no matter how good he is to her. The friend up the block who did nothing but adore her his entire life, she will not end up with that man because she does not trust any other men. She's afraid of the good ones because she's afraid of what real affection and real love looks like or feels like. She doesn't trust it. Same thing with a man who finally gets himself out of a situation where he's with a woman who's manipulative, do all kinds of things to hurt him, the same way a woman is hurt by a man. It's hard for that man to get over that type of hurt, that type of pain. It's hard for women to get over that. When you do that to people and ruin and mess their heads completely up by manipulation, by deception, and with all kinds of trauma from them trying and trying and trying, and you just keep taking advantage, you can do so much damage that person never, ever, 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 ever will allow anybody to have the chance to treat them right. And this is why courts award people so many cases, so much money after they've been through trauma as well as manipulation. Because courts know it's hard to bounce back from that. It's like playing basketball with a ball with no air in it. What good are they if they've been used up? And let's go back to that guard again. Let's go back to the member who complained on Facebook. You got people who faithful, give. But the moment they ask one question, the moment they say something that you don't like to hear, you don't want to hear, get rid of them. Forget about how much money went into the organization. Forget about how many years they were devoted, they were loyal, they were dedicated, they were faithful. Forget about all the service that they've provided. And if you don't hear from them again, time goes on and then they pass, well, now that person can't even have a funeral service in the organization, because the last thing people remember about them is somebody said at the top, oh, they're against. Oh, they had something bad to say. These things ought not be. So for the one who's in the position to help the people and does nothing for the people, my question is, why should the people keep doing for that one? Is that the type of creator that we have? No, you need to take care of my man. You take care of my man. Don't look for him to take care of you. When the Messiah saw multitudes of people around him, he took the lunch of a little boy. The 2 fish, 5 loaves of bread, that was lunch for one boy. The disciples brought it. They said, this is what we have from amongst the crowd. That's what he used to feed the whole multitude. A miracle was done because he had no money. The disciples asked, where should we go and buy bread for this many people? But what if he had the money? What if the Messiah had the money? How many of the people of Israel would have been in need? If he fed the people with nothing in his pocket, then how much would the people have been ahead if he had money in his pocket? Look at what the disciples did with the money that they had. People came in droves, dropped money at their feet. What did they do with it? Hoard it? Did they say, mine, mine, mine? No, don't ask me. No, no, no. The disciples, they distributed to anybody that had need. And the word tells us that they all had all things common, and not one was without. That's what the real body of believers look like. That's how real men serving the Creator and his Son act like. But if you're busy deceiving, manipulating, and lying, and then controlling, and then taking and hoarding, well, the word says the tree is known by its fruit. And if this tree shows, after all, it's not a tree, by the fruit that it's bearing. It's not bearing fruit. That tree has roses on it. This tree has thorns. Well, it's not a tree. It's just a big old bush, deceiving people into thinking it's a tree. But then people saying, well, there's a bush. But when you look, you see it's not a bush. It's a tree. Big, juicy, plump cherries hanging off of it. Well, why would we not want what that tree has to offer? It's not pricking us. It's not doing us harm. No, let's go after the cherry tree. Why continue doing for someone who's doing nothing for you except hurt, harm, and causing pain, while telling you that this is his will, that you give to me and I give you nothing? Is that what we're to believe? And then if I don't do it, I'm bound to have my soul cast. But that's not all. Just like the infomercial. Oh, wait, there's more. If everybody else in the world don't know who I am, if everybody else in the world not giving to me, everybody else in the world not coming in here, then all of them can hang it up. They're not going to make it. He don't want nothing to do with anybody who don't know me and making me rich. What kind of gospel is that? That's what we used to believe. Now I know better. And so now I live better. Now I'm mentally better. Now I feel better. Now I sleep better when I do sleep. Now I act better. I have people who turn their backs on me because I woke up. Well, if you turn your back on me because I'm now awake and I've seen that I'm just being hurt left and right, well, I don't know what to tell you, but I'm not going back to that life. And if you choose to stay in that life, well, that is on you, my friend. I'm not going back to that life. I'm having a beautiful time and the time of my life. And in a short while, we're going to make sure that the rest of the members back there, they too, we're going to show them how to have the time of their lives. Because just like Samson went and pushed the pillars apart to bring the whole thing down, this whole deception is about to cave. And everybody's going to see for themselves what the real Messiah and his Father are all about. This right here in the house of prayer, this ain't it. Marine says, so where does the Holy Spirit fit in that agenda? Absolutely. The Holy Spirit does not fit in the agenda of what's been going on in the organization. Nowhere does it fit. B. Mevdeman says, just draining the poor members. Truly sad. Exactly. People living in poverty. I cannot tell you the number of times I've seen members of the House of Prayer all over the place, good-hearted people, meant nothing but good. Very, very kind, loving, most beautiful persons, people in the world in need. Need food, need rent, need gas bill, need light bill, need insurance money. I can't tell you the number of times I know House of Prayer members have lost jobs because of their faithfulness and dedication and their loyalty in the House of Prayer. Beautiful, 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 beautiful people. And this is why I cannot turn my back. The people that I've seen, I've met, I've loved, that loved me, and many who turned their backs on me because they just don't understand. I don't hold it against them. I know about the indoctrination. And yes, I also know about the witchcraft. I cannot turn my back on them. And we, those who are now with us, are going to do everything we can to come back just like Harriet. And we're going to sing a song. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. And they're going to hear, swing low, sweet chariot. People are going to come running, coming for to carry me home. And just a little while, they'll say, looked over yonder, and what did I see? Is coming. For those of you who think this is not going to make change, for those of you who think that this is not going to make a difference, for those of you who think that nothing's going to happen, for those of you who think that all of this is in vain, for those of you who think that this is for naught, people mess with that man, you're crazy. Like the recording Mr. Taylor said about Mr. Belton. You follow Mr. Belton, you crazy, right? Listen, these individuals know that their time is up. And just like y'all saw the videos, there's not a whole lot of activity going on with these videos, right? We've slowed down a lot. I want to do training. Training gonna come out again tomorrow. But we're not concerned about Mr. Cunningham. We're not thinking about Mr. Cunningham. We're not worried about Mr. Cunningham. Mr. Cunningham is not even on our radar no more. What they're gonna keep traveling, they're gonna keep talking, they're gonna say all kinds of stuff. I'm telling you what to expect. See, nothing has happened. Okay, right. Nothing has happened. Okay. Ain't nothing gonna stop them. Nothing. Okay. Nothing gonna stop them. Okay. They still doing what they're doing. Okay. He's still the bishop. Okay. Good. But when that day comes, you're gonna hear it on a video. You might even see it on the news before you hear it from anybody else. But Mr. Cunningham, he knows very well. The general councilmen that have been terminated with him, they know very, very well. The pastors who are also in collaboration with the things that they know full well this is over. They know that. They can feel it. They can see it. They see the membership has dropped and it's still dropping. They see the finances have dropped and it's still dropping. And they see the attendance is not there anymore. Men are crying out to their families to help them. Families saying, no. The time is already here. Change is here. And let me ask a few things before I continue, and I want to get to the rest of these comments. But again, I want y'all to think about this. The daughter of the king says, break the chains. Yes, absolutely. The chains are being broken. Nikki says, my family is a victim of this church. This is the implosion. And says Pimps Club. And yes, a lot of people's family. I was a victim. Manipulation and deception and so on and so forth. And the biggest defender. But I'm grateful for the awareness that's come to me. That said, there's people calling from all over the place. And there's people who are heavy hitters, thankful that they're no longer under the deception because now they can live. I'm getting phone calls, text messages, same thing with my wife, people expressing gratitude. And yes, they all agree, this is it. This is the implosion. This is the time where people have been praying for the longest. Lifelong says it's crazy that we got so much money that this organization doesn't need a bank loan to build anything. So why can't they even help those in need? That right there is the point. Why can't they help anybody? Why is it that before the members can get anything, why is it that they just bought another apartment complex? Washington, D.C. What do we need with an apartment complex when members are suffering? Why are you buying another apartment complex when there's equipment in the houses that we already have that's broken? The apartments that the people are living in have not been maintained. There's all types of problems with the infrastructure of the organization that need to be addressed, including the cafeterias. If you only knew the problems in the cafeterias, I guarantee you wouldn't be going there. And I'm not even talking about the spiritual issues, but if you knew the problems, it's so bad, I don't even want to give you stories. These are things that the men know about. And this is why a lot of them are suffering right now, because our Father in heaven knows that they're doing some of the dirtiest, grimiest things. And this is why many of them are suffering. Bemevderman, removal of the maids. Absolutely. The maids are gone. Right now, can't say it. Efforts are being taken to handle this issue with child labor and harassment and what will be looked upon as, I can't think of a way to say what I need to say. So let me just say that things are being done to bring all that to a halt. It would have been better for the parents, number one, to stop allowing their children to serve as maids inside the house of prayer or at the homes, to stop allowing the children to go on the road and travel. I can't say what I would like to say. But it's already done. Believe me when I tell you. And we have just a little, I would love to tell you all. It's just a little bit of time. We've been going through this for 100+ years. Just hang in there a little while longer. My grandma lost everything. Nikki, giving everything to this church. Yes. And if she's still here, then she's going to be taken care of too. If she's not still here, just make sure that you have, her information, your family's information, Ready and prepared. That's all I'm going to say for now. Make sure you have anybody. You have former family members that did. Make sure you have their information ready and available. That's all I'm going to say. Make sure you have it. If there are any secretaries listening, any of you who know of any financial secretaries, any secretaries in the house of prayer collecting money, counting money, doing the book work, tell them it's time to step away. Tell them it's time to step down. Give it up. Let them know to give it up. Forget what these men say. Forget how the people talk about them. Forget what the people think about them. Give it up. Don't even bother going out no more. Stay at home. Stay out. The best thing you can do for what's coming is to show that you've detached yourself. You washed your hands of it. You're out. That's the best thing you can do. That is the best thing you can do. If you don't do it, you've been warned. That's all I can say. Okay. No more need for maids. Absolutely. There won't be no maids. Lifelong, for those who know about the house of prayer, you should know about we need more money than we can release. You like you can't just get up and leave. Wait a minute. For those who know about the house of prayer, you should know about we need more money than we can release. You like you can't just get up and leave. I'm not understanding how this is written. Sometimes individuals are typing so fast that it double types. This happens to me a lot. I have to go back and I proofread everything before I actually send it. And B. Mefterman says, absolutely. There's no more need for maids. But the reality is there was never a need for maids. There was never a need for maids. I'm going to say this. We're going to 8 o'clock. It's just been 2 hours. Anybody else would like to share with us the changes that you would like to see? But let me ask you these questions while you're thinking about this. When you picture meaningful change, what feels different right away? When you picture change, what feels different? What would you expect to see happening consistently, not just one time? Mr. Cunningham said, we're going to feed you in Miami, but the people had to raise the money. We're going to feed you in Charlotte Music Festival, but the people had to raise the money. The people had to buy the food, just like Thanksgiving. I thought that this came from the headquarters. It did not. It came from the people of the congregations. They bought the fruit, they donated fruit, and then they got to buy the fruit back. They're paying 2 times for fruit. The things that are said that we're going to do, organization doesn't do it. The leaders don't do it. They're not doing it. They'll get the men to have that money raised by other people. And that's what's going on. What behaviors would clearly signal that old patterns are ending? What would make you say this is genuinely different now? What specific leadership behaviors need to stop? Well, this right here. And I'm just passing on some of the things came to me. What specific leadership behaviors need to stop? What new behaviors need to be practiced, even when it's uncomfortable? How should leaders respond when harm or concerns are raised? And what consequences should exist if leaders repeat harmful behavior? What decisions should no longer happen behind closed doors? Right now, what's been, I think I might allow one of these sessions to be used for us to talk about illegal activities that's happened that you all don't know about, or to allow you to see, how our Constitution lines up. But I don't really want to do that. because many of you are not going to really understand. It's just a bunch of legal jargon. But again, for you all, what are your thoughts about what you've seen so far within the organization right now while we're trying to change it? I can share with you and tell you how this whole thing came to be, and that Mr. Cunningham has had a hand in all this stuff for years, and that the men on the council have worked with him to cover it up, to keep it from your knowledge. I can tell you all that in the form of a story. I can tell you what happened with the General Assembly in the form of a story. I can tell you about other things in the form of a story. But what is most needful right now is to get our people to wake up and understand that out of everything that you do, nothing is being done for you. And this is what I said earlier. We're constantly told, do this, give us, give for this, give for that. We need this, we need that. But when the people are really in need, what's been done for the people? The people can't even go to the cafeteria and get a free meal. You can't go and get a bowl of rice. You can't get a hot dog. And we're not talking about one day, period. What about transparency? Why is there nothing transparent? Right now, we have a little bit less than 10 days left in the month, this year, the year. What do you all see happening right now that's going to benefit the members of the organization if we can't do anything? What is it that's going on that's going to benefit you if we can't do anything? If everything that we've done does not do anything, then what benefit do you all see happening in the organization? What's going to be done to help you all, the people? Besides that, now let me tell you what would be done once we do get hold of the decision making. As I said, G-Class is gone. Love Gift is gone. What's going on, Golden Boy? Convocation and all that stuff with the money, gone. Pictures on the wall, gone. Title, Addy, gone. Bands, play. Keep the money that you raise. Choirs, sing. Keep the money that you raise. CD sales, choirs, bands, that's yours. Musicians, pianists, drummers, guitarists. Why is it that everywhere else, guitarists, pianists, and drummers, they get donations? In here, nothing. No. Y'all should be getting something too. The people with apartments and houses, rents, gone. How you going to do that? Da, 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 da. Listen, anybody who asks that question, you haven't been paying attention. You have not been paying attention. If you are a member in this organization, you should have never been paying rent. Gone. Bus drivers pay, not donation. You should be getting paid. You shouldn't be wearing nobody's uniform that's got their name on it. You don't represent a person. You represent the organization. The organization says that you drive for them. You don't drive for a person. You should be getting paid. Any other bus driver outside the organization, they're getting paid. So why is it that when you drive a bus in here, you don't get nothing? Nope, that's wrong. Paid. Security, paid. You should not be ever expected to put your life on the line. Your family's at home, wondering, worrying, and waiting, have no clue if you're going to come back home, and you get nothing for your service that you're providing. And as a result of security, band members, choir members, bus drivers, guitarists, pianists, and drummers, none of y'all get paid. You know what that means? That means that y'all have to go out and work a job and then find the time to come and donate your services to this organization, who, by the way, is taking your money out of your pocket and out of bread out of the mouths of your children and family as well. Shouldn't be. The denial of abuse is real. Yeah, a lot of people deny the abuse that's going on in here. A lot of people. And it's very, very real. The abuse is real, and people denying the abuse is real. And when I say musicians, as far as getting paid, we're not talking about all the various lifestyles that musicians are sucked into. We're not talking about, New York is a haven for music. Same thing with LA. We're not talking about contracts and deals to go out here, and we're just talking about the music that you enjoy. You want to play downtown? Y'all be surprised how many people will book bands all around the country, even the world, to just come and play, to entertain. You'd be surprised how much money is out there to play good, clean, wholesome music. I'm not talking about events where people drinking alcohol and smoking cigarettes. I'm talking about people who are having meetings, people who are having gatherings, people who are having business luncheons, people who are having family reunions and company events. They would love to hire music just to play. It's just one more piece of entertainment. Choirs, same thing. Listen, denial of abuse is a real thing too. Protecting your abuse, yes. Golden Boy, B. Meverman said they agree. Korean says, we're not promoting going into the world. That's a different drug. Right, right. We have people in this organization that record your music, sell your music without utilizing the word. Right. We have CDs already being circulated around the organization. We know how to make CDs. We know how to make music. Choirs, they've been doing it for the longest. What's wrong with them selling their music in here? The number one supporters are members of the organization. The only difference now is you get to promote and sell your music to members in here as well as out there. What's wrong with us promoting your music out there too? It won't be attached to anything that has any spiritual ramifications that's negatively input. So when we play and sing that title, Addie, gone, 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 and play to, sing to, lift up praises going to our Heavenly Father, change the lyrics to say our Heavenly Father. Everybody would love it. Everybody, no matter where they are. Anybody who believes in a higher being, everyone will sing our Heavenly Father, the Creator. We have songwriters, we have musicians who can make things up and create and use your gifts to promote, to produce, to make, and even write music. It's a shame that we have musicians in this organization that are homeless, sleeping on the sidewalk, sleeping in abandoned buildings, sleeping but we have a man who's a former pastor. While he was a pastor, he was wandering the streets of Washington, D.C. because this leadership did not set up any type of program to make sure that he would have the funds necessary to put him in a hotel while going to the General Assembly, which is a mandatory meeting. Wandering, looking for a hotel lobby just to sleep in, because he did not have the funds, the money to get a hotel room. And if he did, the hotel room was too high for the coalition. People. These men got some things to pay for, and women too, because the men aren't the only ones. And a lot of the wives of these men know about this stuff going on. And that does not make them exempt nor excused. A lot of the wives are riding along with these men, knowing that their husbands are involved in a whole bunch of dirt. But some of them don't know. A lot of the children have no idea. So as we go forward, our aim is try to separate so that we can get the ones who is involved. There are ways. You don't have to sell your soul, right? And with the advent of certain apps, there's now, on the tip of my tongue, the son of a very famous singer back in the day got together with a group of people and investors and created an app where you can now make your own music, promote your own music, produce your own music, and manage your own music and get all the profits yourself. On the tip of my tongue. But a singer's son did that. And now you have individuals who's on music apps selling their own music. They're not going through those channels where people are sitting back and taking advantage of people like Motown did and Cadillac Records did. They're not doing that like these old labels did back in the day, just taking it. Now, mind you, Motown, that's how they did business. That's how they did business. So I don't want to slap anybody. But people were taking advantage. Same thing with TV. The TV actors back in the day, they didn't make no whole lot of money. Yeah, there were celebrities, they were known, but they didn't make a lot of money. They went broke. You find actors working normal 9-to-5 jobs. People be recording them saying, oh my gosh, I don't believe it's such and such. Today, you can do so much and get to keep the money. There's a group, TLC, Don't Go Chasing Waterfalls. They came out and did an interview back in, I think, the 90s and alerted the world to the fact that they didn't get paid a lot of money. And their name had blown up the charts. They were at the top of the charts for many, 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 many weeks. And they said they only got a couple 100,000. People do not understand. Business out there is so corrupt, but that's what he does. And many people outside don't understand the business in here in this organization is so very corrupt. And instead of us being truthful about it, so many of us was covering it up and lying to ourselves. But truth be told, we know that they're lying and deceiving. And now that there's somebody coming out saying it, how can you not know? Golden Boy said that's a fact. They do need freedom to do what they want. It's plain and simple. And here there's complete autonomy by the one that's in charge. We have individuals that have opportunities to do all kinds of things. But again, in here, y'all be surprised. Mary J. Blige, if you look into her background, check out where she's from. Phyllis Hyman, check out where she's from. There's all kinds of celebrities that not only came through the house of prayer, but came from, were born and raised and grew up in the house of prayer. Many, many different celebrities. The point that I'm making is we can promote, we can lift up, we can exalt our members and not have one person exploit all of the members of the organization just to talk about them. It was so bad at one point in time, nobody could talk about anything. You only can talk about him. When the time came for the members to write up books about the history, how the congregations got started, I wrote about our congregation, San Antonio. I wrote, the members gave testimonies. You won't find one testimony from any member of San Antonio, Texas, in any piece of literature at all in the history of the United House of Prayer for All People. Why? Jealousy and envy. I was targeted. We were there for 5 years. You won't find nothing in one piece of literature, not one illustration of anything about San Antonio in anything. Why? Targeted. And this happens to people all around our organization all the time. And believe it or not, people at the top right now have their hands in it. B. Mefterman says, Bill Bailey, Pearl Bailey's brother. Pearl Bailey, House of Prayer. There's so many people, and thank you. There's so many people, celebrities. We have band members right now that's going out after unfortunate events. They've been sat down, they've been silenced, they've been told they can't play in here. And thankfully, they had the wherewithal to get up and say, you know what? I'm not going to worry about that. I'm going to go ahead and do my own thing. And so now we have some of our musicians out there, making a very, very, very nice living for themselves, honestly, ethically, and legally, without doing anything immorally. Why? all because somebody at the top of this organization said, no, you need to give that money in here. And what are you talking about? One young man, unfortunately, he lost his mother. He played downtown in a parade because the parade would pay the band members for that one day. They'd make a nice piece of change. Some would get $500. Some might get up to $2,000 for that one day. Each band member. This young man, he got $500 for that day, maybe a few hours, $500. He took the money to apply it towards burying his mother, while other people contributed to also help out. Not a lot of people, and they weren't allowed in the house of prayer to take up a collection either, which is unfortunate because a lot of our members don't have life insurance. Not a lot is taught to the members. The only thing taught is give to the one up top. He was told that he had to take that money and give it to the house of prayer. And if he don't give it, he'd be sat down. What do you mean, don't give it? That was for my mother's funeral. It's already gone. I don't have that money. Well, then you're sat down. Why am I sat down? I told you it was for my mother's funeral. Y'all wouldn't take up an offering to raise the help out, and nobody can, so I went and did what I could do. You're sat down. He took it, no problem. And he kept coming out for a while, but then he stopped. Didn't make sense. Why am I going to keep on coming out when they're not doing anything for me? Why should I be worried about not playing in there if all they want is money? And I go out to do something for my mother's funeral and you're going to sit me down? No, he was done. He was done. Time went on. A major change happened in the organization. And he came back to visit for one night. There was a change. In fact, it was a change of leadership. When he came back, hoping that this one would understand the situation and allow him to come back and do what he loves to do and play with the band members that he grew up with. These are like brothers to him. Came up and the conversation was had by the pastor at that time and by the one who's there at the moment. And he said, well, you need to get that money and put it in the house of prayer. This is years later, almost 11 years later, if I'm not mistaken. He said, you need to get that. I don't have that money. And that money was for my mother's funeral. And even if I did have it, why should I have to put that in the house of prayer just for me to come and play? I didn't do anything wrong. Nope. That's not what I heard. And then left. Right now, the one that's here now walked out. That was his care and concern towards hearing about the story of this young man. Young man said, you know what? Okay, no problem. I ain't got to play there. Young man been playing for himself, making money for himself, doing very good for himself, has his own studio, producing his own music, and making quite a bit of money. And now he looks back and sees the blessing in what happened to him when he understood that the leaders care nothing about the people. We had band members that got caught up outside because the leaders don't do anything to exalt, to mold, to shape, to encourage, to assist, to help. None of that. And Kareem says, it is said that people will make Addie's Club and not pay life insurance. And this is true. I can tell you things that it's bad. The things that people have done to get on that club is so bad. And Golden Boy said he woke up. Absolutely, he woke up. We have right now our band, some of our band members have become famous singing with very well-known musicians, some household names. Band members playing, some of the singers playing backup on TV shows, all because we didn't groom, we didn't assist, we didn't encourage, but all because people were being broken. Unfortunately, we lost a lot of our young men and women to the streets because people at the top only wanted to take advantage. There was a house. I talked about last week. There was a house on Pelham Road, Germantown, Philadelphia. Pelham Road. And you know what? I'm thinking, and give me 1 minute, not even a minute, 30 seconds. I'll be right back. See, this is what happens when you start thinking. I was laughing at one of the members on the board last night. I think it was about 3 o'clock when I was finally getting ready to turn in. I picked up my phone, going through the phone, and I looked and I saw on the channel that we use a bunch of writing. And I thought it was the minutes from our board meeting. And it was one of the board members that couldn't sleep. Mind just going with all these ideas of things that we can perhaps do for the members and for people who need help, and just writing and writing and writing and writing and writing and writing. And I put LOL, laughing, the emoji, cracking up because, and I typed, I thought these were digital minutes from the meeting. It was so organized and orchestrated, all these things. All I could do was crack up. My point is this: our board members are on the ball. And when this young lady is up 1 o'clock in the morning, just writing different ideas, other board members today, this morning, getting up, hello board, grand rising, good to see you. And they're talking to each other with all these ideas and ideas and ideas and ideas, what we can do for the members. Y'all have no idea what you're missing out on by stalling and putting off the efforts that we're making to bring this stuff to an end. And the reality is that the members of the organization, 2 weeks, it can all be done if the members of the organization stood up and did what I told you in one of the videos. 2 weeks, 3 weeks max. Done once and for all. Done. But since our members won't stand up together, doing what we're doing, and the board is, well, look, Rain says the board is on fire. Y'all have no idea. They are so ecstatic about what's going on. And I'm just telling you, just get ready. And you're going to be upset with every single person that did anything to stall what it is that the board is doing. So let me get what I wanted to show. Pelham Road is what I was saying. Pelham Road. See, y'all have no idea. This is Miss Dolores Madison. Okay. Y'all have no idea the things that I have that I want to go over, that I want to show you, that I want to share with you. Y'all just have no idea about the stuff. So this is Pelham Road right here. It's called Palace. Let me see. Okay. Palace in Germantown. This is a mansion, a baby mansion, that sits in the middle of a whole block in Germantown, Pennsylvania. Right around the corner from the House of Prayer in Germantown, Philadelphia, on the name of the street is right on my tongue, but Germantown House of Prayer. This is Pelham Road. This is the house that I used to walk by. I was the assistant pastor of Germantown, Philadelphia, not living too far, maybe 10 blocks away. But this is the house I used to walk by, and I used to look at it all the time, not knowing that it was an old parsonage for the bishop of the House of Prayer. I was at the time looking into acquiring property to turn over, and I was going to renovate them and rent out the rooms. And some of the people in Philadelphia knew that this is what I was doing, looking around, but it wasn't for me to go that route. I had investors lined up, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, it caught my eye. I wanted to look at this one. There was another mansion I was looking at the time before I went into the Navy. This caught my eye because the door on the front was off the hinge and just leaning. Windows in this building was busted out. Windows were busted out. And okay. Windows were busted out. And like I said, it's such a beautiful property, but the landscaping was horrible. You could see whoever had it, they were not taking care of it. There was animals living in it, raccoons, birds, all kinds. Rittenhouse Street. Thank you. Rittenhouse. And the slogan from the time from Mr. C.T. Williams, it was the right house on Rittenhouse, because right across the street, up the block, about 4 buildings down, was this little house of prayer that was started by a group of people that left the house of prayer. But Rittenhouse Street, right? And Pelham Road, right there in Philadelphia. I'm sorry, I can't remember the address, but it's that whole one block. And if I'm not mistaken, it may be the only house on Pelham Road. No. Anyway, it is the only house on Pelham Road because the back takes up that whole block. But this house was owned by the House of Prayer. It was a house that Mr. Grace had purchased, that he himself stayed in. It was a house that, of course, Mr. McCullough stayed in 2 times, but he saw spirits in the house and he would not stay in there no more. He said it was haunted. Okay. That bothered me because, wait a minute, if you are who you, anyway, the door was off the hinges. The windows was busted out. And so I always eyeballed it. I wanted to go to the tax assessor's office and get the information on it, see about acquiring it. Come to find out, it was owned by the House of Prayer. Now, why am I bringing this up? Because it was this house in the middle of a block, a beautiful driveway, beautiful, that went down, made a U-turn, and it was such a beautiful house. And y'all see the entryway, the car could drive up and go up underneath the portico, and you get out and you walk into the house from here. Well, it's this house that had that $50,000 chandelier ordered for it, but it was never installed. This house. Now, it would have been sitting at the entrance of the foyer. There's a grand entrance. It's a beautiful house. There's a grand entrance. And like you see, off to the side, there's a sunroom over here. Well, this is an open patio. And above it, there's a balcony over here. This is off the master bedroom. And it's 4 stories, 2 grand floors with an upstairs fully finished 3rd floor and a full basement. Beautiful house. Anyway, they never put the chandelier up, but it was in this house. This is why I'm saying I'm going here. It was in this house that the bedroom suite that I was talking about, that was purchased from John D. Rockefeller, 24 karat gold. That bedroom suite was inside that house. The bedroom suite was inside this house with animals in the house, birds in the house, raccoons in the house, with the door off the hinges in the house. There was a few squatters that had squatted in the house, but they were shooting up and using the house as a property to shoot drugs. They were so gone that they never even bothered to consider if they took any of the belongings out of the house to sell it. They could make so much money. The bedroom suite from John D. Rockefeller is priceless. A chest, 24 karat. Listen, 8-drawered chest, a dresser, a headboard, a footboard, and bed rails, 24 karat gold inside of that house. I say all that to say this. How is it that we have such lack of order, organization, and management that the former parsonage of Mr. Grace is being allowed to be run down to such an extent? Now, mind you, anybody that remembers Mr. McCullough, there was a 3-bedroom split story home in Cherry Hill that was purchased at the time for the bishop and his family to reside in whenever he visits Philadelphia. That was the original location of Cherry Hill House of Prayer. Mr. Barksdale and his wife used to oversee it. I got a chance to go over there twice. It's just a normal 3-bed, 2-bath bread and butter home, just a single family home. Nothing spectacular about it. That house replaced that mansion because Mr. McCullough was afraid of the spirits that was in that house. We took that mansion. Everything was taken out of it, sat out in the parking lot, and they held an auction to auction things off. After Mr. Madison became bishop, and he looked at a list of all the properties of the houses of prayers and looked at what property needed work. And this is when he was going around to build the houses of prayers. Now, Mr. McCullough was afraid of that property, so he got the other one at Cherry Hill. Mr. Madison, when he became the bishop, looking at a list, he noticed Pelham Road is on the list of properties. Don't know anything about no Pelham Road. Then he goes and sees Pelham Road. It's this big mansion. Well, he already know about Cherry Hill because after he became bishop, that's where he's going when he goes to Philadelphia. But Cherry Hill is just a house in a residential community. It's like you pass by 3-4 bedroom houses all up and down the block. Anybody that lives there, it's just a regular house. That was before, when he made up his mind, he's going to build all over the organization. That's when he built Cherry Hill. Anybody that ever saw Cherry Hill, it makes the house in Charlotte look, the house in Charlotte is nice on Sugar Creek Road beside Dorada House of Prayer. That's a nice house. It's a beautiful, beautiful house. It's a beautiful house. But Cherry Hill, Mr. Madison, he had those architects pour their soul inside the blueprints for Cherry Hill. When I tell you the amount of money going inside the parsonages for him to stay in, Cherry Hill, when I got there, 4 houses down from, just to give you an idea, 4 houses down from that house. Now, you're not looking at neighbors. No. Your neighbor, if you walk from your house to your neighbor's house, it's going to take you 10 minutes to get to their front door. At least 10, 15 minutes for you to walk from your house to your neighbor's house is literally going to take you almost 15 minutes, if not more, because they're up the way. These houses sit on 4 or 5 acres apiece, if not more. Up from Cherry Hill, about 3 or 4 houses down, was a house owned by a senator. Just to give you the idea, an idea of the area that this house was in. Pelham Road. When Mr. Madison saw the condition of it, he was livid. How is it possible that y'all allowed this property to go down like this? But that wasn't the only one. All around the organization, you had properties that were not maintained and not taken care of. That was one of the main reasons why he looked at rebuilding and renovating. To see that house, there was a grandfather clock that was at the top of the stairwell. The furniture, Mr. Grace was so flamboyant. The furniture that he bought for those properties, if he got a bedroom suite from John Rockefeller, that should tell you all you need to hear about his taste in furniture. And to have bird and animal feces everywhere. Not to mention what's left over by squatters, needles, feces. That's just to tell you, show you the mindset of the management and the lack of order and organization in the leaders in this organization. Because some of the people, and I'm not going to say their names because this is not to bash them, but some of the people throughout the organization who was in charge of these properties had no clue what they're doing. What makes it even worse is that we had the funds to hire out people to provide and take care of these things, just like our seniors. If you all understood what the conditions are that our seniors have to live through on a day-to-day basis, all this stuff we're bringing to a stop. But Pelham Road, that beautiful, beautiful, beautiful house. I would love to have had that house. And all I could think about was every opportunity that I had to go inside that house every day that I walked by it. I must have walked by that house at least 500 times. And the doors off the hinges. Anybody had access. Windows are busted out. Spray paint on the side. Today, Mr. Madison sold it. And the people who bought that house, they renovated it. To see that house today, it looks better than this picture. But to know that that bedroom suit, 24 karat solid gold bedroom suit, was in that house. A chandelier was already there made of pure crystal. The other one that came out of Egypt was not installed to replace it there. It already had a crystal chandelier in it, hanging there from the ceiling, and all this other stuff. My point is, for these men to put so much money into the properties like this, Cherry Hill has, if I go into detail, I'm not going to want to stop. To see the woodwork alone, just to see the ceiling and the walls of Cherry Hill, you know, this is why Mr. Cunningham thinks he's a king. This is fit for a king. My question is, why are the members not being treated like that? If you can take care of yourself that way, and you're only going to be there a few days out of the year, why can't you do better for the members? And they're only going to live in that one place every day, year after year, after year, after year, after year. And if you think so small of the people to where you crowd them together and put them in this big complex or this big building and give them a little matchbox for a parking lot, anybody that knows about 6 and M Street, the parking lot over there at Canaland, that little teeny tiny parking lot, that little tiny parking lot over at McCullough Courts, where these people are constantly having a problem with parking. You thought very little of the people, but how much thought went into the parsonage that they're going to stay in a few days a year? To have 4, 5, 6 acres of just grass. If you see the parsonage in Charlotte, you just have land, nothing but land. But you got all these people living in these apartments, and they got to share this tight parking space. How much thought went into your people who you said, thank you for your love? It's manipulation at its finest. So, people, I said all that to say that when it all comes down to it, and yes, again, Corrine just confirmed the board is on fire. Golden boy, 100%. The thrill is to take care of the members, as Corrine is saying. That's what the board is looking. Listen, the members are going to be so taken care of. So taken care of. Mr. Cunningham and gang need to be ashamed of themselves. Miss Dolores Madison need to be ashamed of herself to just take and take and take and take, and won't even give fish sticks to people for free when they're in need. The thrill is to take care of the members. Golden Boy said, our daddy not running. Yeah, Mr. McCullough, he was so scared of Pelham Road that they had to buy another house. He wasn't standing there no more. He said it's haunted. B. Mebderman says, St. Graham Bishop, McCullough Cook, used to talk about the spirits there. Oh, well, see, we have a confirmation. St. Graham, his cook, used to talk about the spirits there. Yeah, he wasn't staying. Again, it made me think, because if you are who you are, but yeah, he was afraid to stay in the house. Cherry Hill is an amazing, okay, again, got more confirmation. Cherry Hill is an amazingly beautiful, oh gosh. And the time is coming where the intent, we're going to have pictures and booklets put together to show the members what you have in the organization, period. I would love to tell you what we've already talked about doing with some of these. Listen, y'all have no idea. Golden Boy said, did you know across the street is an old parsonage that used to be owned by McCullough that was purchased and moved there by the purchaser on Sugar Creek? Yes. Thank you. I forgot about that. Across the street from the new building that Mr. Madison had built, the parsonage there that has the long driveway sitting on the side, on the left side of the Dorada House of Prayer. Across the street, there is a house that used to be the parsonage. Parsonages back in that time is nothing more than just a nice house. It's like 1605 North Portal Drive. That's not really, that was just a residential house. It's in a luxurious community, right? But it's just a nice house. It was a house that was bought from what would have been at the time middle income households. That's all. But it was a place that the leader would not have to worry about paying, and they would stay in whenever he's in town. And the parsonage at the time, they were just nothing more than very nice single family houses. So when you go to Portal Drive now, you really see they've done some renovating, but really when you walk inside, you see it's not that spectacular. It really is. You just walk in the front door. There's a basement. You got a living room over here. There's a dining room over here. You walk around. There's a kitchen. You come out the kitchen. There's a little pantry way. There's an elevator. There's this stairwell. And then around through the living room, there's a den converted into an office. But it's just a regular, simple, single-family house. Mr. Madison changed that. Whenever he went around the organization and built parsonages, he built Cherry Hill is like a mini castle. And what y'all see in Charlotte, it's nice. But Cherry Hill. We have same thing in Virginia. Augusta, Georgia. Savannah, Georgia. We have homes scattered around. My point is, why is it that they did all this for themselves and nothing for the people? In fact, I know the person who's at the house. Yeah, I won't talk about Virginia. Anyway, you get a blessed piece of fruit for your labor, right? Be Mevderman. For all that you've done in the house of prayer, you get fruit. Get one piece of fruit. Thanksgiving. And then this year, just like every other year, they sell what's left over back to the people who bought it. And this year, it really did go back to the people who bought it, because nobody went to Washington this year to see Mr. Cunningham at Thanksgiving. And then we have individuals that confirm, Golden Boy and another individual told me that the fruit that you're getting is, a lot of it is rotten, is spoiled, is overripened, because it's been sitting while they are waiting. We are waiting on the man, right, to come and hand out fruit. But you're going to sell it. If I'm not mistaken, Crane says the house in Cherry Hill belongs to Mrs. Madison, not the United House of Prayer. Wow. I will say this, there's a lot of property in the house of prayer that's not in the name of the house of prayer. It is misconstrued and appears to be owned by the house of prayer. So I'm just saying, y'all have no idea what's coming. Stand by. And Golden Boy says it's done intentionally. They give rotten fruit. They make sure that, and they laugh about it. There's no hurry. People are told, especially bananas. Well, how long are the bananas going to last? And if you didn't know anything about bananas, same thing with the apples. From all the carrying and being bumped and getting bruised, well, how soon is it going to be before you get apples with spots that's rotten? Right? And this is the truth. We're not saying this to make fun of. It's the truth. It's sad how they leave Charlotte Mansion vacant most of the time, Janelle says. Yes, not just Charlotte. Cherry Hill, Charlotte, Augusta, Savannah. There's a parsonage in Miami. There's several in Georgia. There's a few in Charlotte. I mean, not Charlotte, North Carolina. I think 3. Georgia might have 4, if not 5. Remember, there's one in Victory Lane. Virginia has 2, if not 3. Again, y'all don't understand the amounts of money being spent on these individuals to live this beautiful, luxurious life. And here he is now telling 10,000 people, give $500 more. For what? What is the $500 for? What do you need $5 million for? What do you need? You got 2 Maybachs in less than 2 years. Are we looking at a Maybach per year type bishop? People, listen, I'm proud to tell you that this is over. And like I said, it's like this building. This is the El Dorado. Let me see if I can get it to come in view. Okay, it's real faint. I need to turn that light off so you can see it. But this is the El Dorado. And this was purchased in New York. Mr. Grace buys the tallest New York apartment housing complex. Yes, Mr. Grace purchased this. He bought it at the time for $4 million. Okay, $4 million at that time. Bishop Charles M. Grace, wealthy religious cult leader and landowner, bought the tallest apartment building in New York for an estimated $4 million, named the El Dorado. The 34-story, 216 apartment building occupies an entire block on Swank Central Park West, home of scores of millionaires. Cash payment for the building was not disclosed. Grace's real estate manager said mortgages total $3,800,000. Bishop Grace, who heads the House of Prayer for All People, also owns large apartment buildings on New York's Sugar Hill and Riverside Drive, and he has real estate holdings in Los Angeles and in Cuba. Here's my question. What did any of those purchases do for the members of the organization? It was said that he owns the property. And it was not said that the organization owns the property. Another thing that's said is that he was wealthy. what really bothered a lot of people is that he would flaunt a lot of the money. So you see the picture, he's just holding cash. Now, my question is why? Is this something that the disciples would have done? To take pictures showing handfuls of cash. Now, I'm not going to go much further here. These things I have, and a whole lot more. But I'm not going to go further because I want to actually, we're going to be making some longer videos that will be quite extensively detailed. And they're going to actually open up so many more eyes. And like I said, this information, many people do not understand the things that were being done, and many times being done right in the faces of the members. It's unfortunate that our people are being taken advantage of that way. There's another, I don't want to take too much time to show these things. But there was another $1 million mansion that he bought at the time. He got it at a deep, deep discount because he paid cash. Most people don't understand with real estate, you're going to pay around the market value if you take out a loan. And you're going to pay on that loan. But if you pay cash, you can get a lot of real estate deeply discounted when you pay cash. Well, he took advantage of the opportunity and paid cash $450,000 for $1 million home that had 85 rooms in it. This is a mansion, not a house of prayer. It's a house with 85 rooms. It's in West Coast Haven, Southern California's biggest residential deal in 25 years. The house had a swimming pool, a grand ballroom with, at the time, a $17,000 piano. A $17,000 piano at that time. Plus Oriental rugs that were valued at $230,000 at that time. Oriental rugs. By the end of the week, after he closed the deal, members of the House of Prayer were seen, and they took pictures, painting this mansion that was brick. They painted it red, white, and blue. The neighbors were livid because you're in a residential community. And what is this? That one of our houses is painted with patriotic colors. We have a red, white, and blue mansion in our neighborhood. And the neighbors were livid. They complained. Nothing you can do because it was not a homeowners association. This is a $1 million, multi-million dollar residential area. You can do with your property what you want. No homeowners association going to tell you what to do with your multi-million dollar house. But Mr. Grace was known for being flamboyant. He was known for doing things to get people's attention. Here he bought a house with 85 rooms. People, how much was he thinking about the members? We need to understand, this is the mindset. And now we're looking at the same thing all these years later. Where's the money going? Why does he want 10,000 people to give $500? I'll sit you down. Why is he threatening, telling people, I will put you out, evict them for being behind 1 month, 2 months, 3 months? Why? And then at the same time to say, anybody needs financial assistance, let us know. We will help you out. People, it's just one more scam. And right now they're trying to get the people ready to go to Miami. But it's going to cost you more money. No, not Miami. Los Angeles is coming up in February. It's going to cost you more money. And that money is going to come after he comes to collect money from New Haven, Connecticut, New York, Philadelphia, Baltimore, DC. He's coming to collect. And what is he bringing? That man said on that text, he's coming bringing blessings. He ain't bringing no blessings. He's coming to bring debt. He's coming to bring more debt and more worryation and more anxiety and more depression to a lot of people who's believing in him and trusting in him and doing what he says. Thankfully, there's not a whole lot of people left because people in droves are no longer giving, no longer cooperating, and no longer participating. And the ones who he has left and remaining, he's trying to see who is in support of him, because after all, he said this year, if you're going to stay in here, you're going to follow Addie Cunningham. If not, there's the door. Well, a lot of people chose the latter and walked out the door and said, you know what? I'm going to sit this one out. I'm going to just wait and see how this whole thing goes. And then I'll be back. Because what's coming is 1,001 times better than what's here. Now, people, you can continue to be a Bettina and say, what you want, Big Daddy? You want me to show him around and see all the pretty stuff? Or you can be a Django. And you can ride in on a horse. And you can ride out on that same horse. But the decision is yours. Keeping the people engaged in the cycle so the flow doesn't stop. Yes, Mr. Grace purchased it. And Jamal said, that's sad. Every time I see Mr. Grace pictures, it does not sit well with my spirit. Right. But the good news, it's all over. And it's going to be said and done in just a little while. So you all don't see what the board is doing. Just know that the board is hard at work. You all don't hear what the board is doing, but just know that the board is ecstatically excited. You all may not feel what the board is doing yet, but just know that the board is on the run. Like Kareen said, the board is on fire, and we are eager to get this thing done. And in just a few more days, you all are going to be seeing some things and hearing some things that you never believed that you'd be seeing or hearing. But by the same estimation, so is everybody else on that side. Mr. Cunningham and all of the former pastors and all of the former councilmen, they're going to be hearing some things and seeing some things that they never, ever thought that they'd be hearing or seeing either. And it's unfortunate because they've had almost a whole year to work with us so that we could get these things dealt with some other type of way. And now it's time to say goodbye to all of those who used to lead. We're not going to say MIC. We're not going to say KEY. We're not going to say MOUSE. At this time, is there anything that anybody else would like to say? Anything anybody would like to share? Any questions? Eric, so is this the house you're talking about? 328 Pelham. Oh, that sounds familiar. 328 sounds familiar. Pelham Road, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, that was sold in 1998. I believe it is. 328 Pelham Road. Let's see. 328. Almost. 328 Pelham Road. Wait a minute. I'm trying to pull it up now. Whoa. Yes, that is it. And it's estimated at $1.8 million today. 8 bedrooms, 8 bathrooms, 8,406 square feet. And let me take a picture of this and allow you all to see it. I pulled it up on Zillow. And let me see if there's another picture. Wow. On Redfin. Even better. And see, this is, yeah, okay. So let me let you all see what it is that they did to the property. This one is saying that it's 11 bedrooms and 10,394 square feet. Anyway, let me let you all see it. Okay, this is what I used to see when I walked by in Philadelphia on almost a day-to-day basis. And that house was boarded up. And let me turn this light off and see if y'all can see it any better. Okay. No, it's from here. Okay, that's a little better. But this is the house I used to see on a day-to-day basis as I walked by. And they did a beautiful job. For those of you who are on here, you can pull up the address that Eric posted on here. Thank you, Eric. And you can see this house for yourself. It is such a very beautiful house. In fact, I have a better picture now. So let me allow you to see that one. Okay, this is better. Let me move it over. Okay, one page says 11 bedrooms, 8 bathrooms. Another one says 8 bedrooms and 8 bathrooms. But this was the house that was purchased by Mr. Grace that Mr. McCullough said was haunted. And it still sits on an entire block by itself. And again, these were the types of homes that Mr. Grace was buying back then, right? But what was going on for the members of the House of Prayer? And this was the house that the bedroom suit of John D. Rockefeller was in, 24 karat gold. And anybody could walk in or out of that house, right? I was ecstatic. Anyway, I was not aware that they had put the house up. Like I said at the time, I was looking to acquire different properties. There was a cobblestone house, custom house, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, about 7 blocks away. I was looking at things turned for me another way, another route. I told you all about the M&Ms. I found a gray M&M, $1 million. It wasn't for me to turn it in. My life would have went differently. But around that time, I was looking at real estate. I had set other people up to buy property for themselves and doing very well. But anyway, we now see and understand that it was not in the cards for me to go that route. I'm grateful today that I did not. Looking back and looking today at what we're doing, I am grateful for where we have come because we have the opportunity to bring this organization forward for the betterment of the members and not allow people at the top to continue taking advantage of the members for the next 100 years if we continue to get time. But Corinne says, Satan, we're going to tear your kingdom down. Exactly, 100%. We're already doing it. Wrong punctuation. That was not a question. Right. And we remember that with the song. Frankie says, why haven't he visited the mother house in Charlotte for the holidays yet? Did I miss something? I don't think he's doing a lot of traveling and visiting because right now, a lot of people haven't really been coming out. When it comes to Charlotte, people have to understand there's 18 houses of prayers in the Charlotte area. And so, yes, it's going to look like there's a lot of people, even if there's a handful of people in each location. However, if you pay attention, he's not going to be doing a whole lot for long. So with these numbers, the number of travel dates coming up, again, this was a time that not a lot of things were being done in the house of prayer because people had time with their families. They're not looking forward to bishops coming because they know that money is going to be involved. So the expectation is for him to be somewhere in DC. But we do know that he's not saying a lot about where he's going to be at because we know that he don't want people to know where he's going to be. This has been the most secretive bishop in the history of the House of Prayer. He don't want people to know a whole lot about what he's doing. That in itself should send you some red flags. Did you see how much Logan Circle House was worth? I don't know the address there yet. I can do a search. Uh, Sabrina says, "Will I have to say McCullough said the storm was coming and is here now? Truth has to be told." Thank you, Lewis. Much love, much love. You're absolutely welcome. Me and my wife, we are grateful that we have the opportunity to be doing what we're doing. The board members are also grateful to be doing what they're doing. And it's a beautiful home. They really did quite a bit of work to it. Yes, they really did. And that could have still been in the House of Prayers, that whole block. Jamal, 11. he went and got the address of Logan Circle. So let's go ahead and look this up real quick. (11) Logan Circle. It says that's I'm gonna round up, $3,560,000. 7 bedrooms, 5 baths, 4,997 square feet. $3,560,000, and we can see, like you said, Portal Drive, right? I mean, not Portal Drive, Logan Circle. And there's a lot of things about that house. Now that's on Zillow, Realtor.com. They don't have an estimate. And I think that's it. But this is now an historical landmark. For those of you who don't know, I don't know what. Oh, wait. The glare is coming from the other light. Okay. This is a historical landmark now. And I'm kind of turning it so that you can see. And you can even snap a picture. But Logan Circle in Northwest Washington, in Washington, D.C., Charles M. Sweet, Addie, Grace Residence, African American Heritage Trail, Washington, D.C. And on the inscription, they have this in front. You all might have seen it. Charles, Grace, 1881 to 1960, brought this United House of Prayer for All People at the Church on Rock Apostolic Faith to Washington in 1927. He brought this home 8 years after finding the denomination in Massachusetts. The Cape Verdean born Grace became known for his flamboyant personal style and for staging huge revivals, faith healings, and mass baptisms. His church, with national headquarters at 601 Elm Street, Northwest, continues to serve the community with daycare, food banks, senior citizen care, and affordable housing. Again, all of this is going to come out, and you all are going to see that a lot of this has been nothing but cover-ups, and a lot of it is nothing but lies. Issues with the cafeterias, food banks, there is no such thing. There's issues there. And when I say this, I mean from the organization being set up from the top. Senior citizen care, that's going to come out. Y'all going to be upset. You're going to be angry. And the affordable housing, when you find out what's been going on, same thing. You're going to be upset. So anyway, that's that.
Don't forget, as part of the pentagram in DC.
Oh, yeah. Maria told me to let you all know and not to forget. Yeah, the pictures are here, so that you all will see that this is, again, Logan Circle. But not to forget that if you do a search, the street designs of Washington, um, for those of you who are in the know, it's a pentagram, upside down pentagram, designed in the streets of Washington, D.C. You can do a search on Google. And if you look at the hidden symbols within the street designs of Washington, you'll notice that on one, two, three, on the fourth point on the upside down pentagram is Logan Circle. Now, I don't want to go into too much detail there. We might do this later and do an entire breakdown. But in between the fourth point and the fifth point of that pentagram, anybody know about the crescent moon and the star? In between those points is 6 and M Street. And if you know the nickname of 6 and M Street, then look at the address of 600 plus 1 M Street, and then 1 plus 600, where the other White House is. Again, it's a lot of stuff y'all just don't know yet. A lot of this stuff won't come out because it's not really necessary. A lot of it might be what some people call speculative. However, even with that said, the point that I'm making is that we have a lot of things that the members don't know is going on. And a lot of this stuff may come out to allow you all to understand some of it, but it's not going to be necessary to let all of it come out. There's enough right now that some outlets are putting together documentaries to show things. You can either believe it or not. And when they put the information out, you can either trust their information or not. But the point of the matter is that there's a lot of negativity that's surfacing and now being made public about a lot of stuff that's been covered up by this organization. And a lot of people have taken a whole lot of effort to make sure that they keep things covered up in this organization. So with that said, there's not a whole lot much more that I can share that you probably don't already know, but there is a lot of other information pertaining to the founder, pertaining to, well, all the leaders, quite frankly, that we have not talked about. But with that in mind, if there's nothing else, does anybody have any questions before we close out that y'all would like to know about anything pertaining to what's going on, pertaining to where we are, or pertaining to where we're headed before we close? And if not, then we'll go ahead and close out tonight's fellowship. I want to thank you all for those of you who came in to listen in, to see what's going on. I think I did cover all of the announcements pertaining to what came up last week. Again, the staff is now working out of the office over at 17 and a half 7th Street. I think it's, no, 117, besides Charlotte Mission, over in the building designated for senior living. And a lot of the time, when it comes to Portal Drive, the staff is not there anymore. So there's a lot of questions going on. Many people are asking what is really going on. Many people in Washington asking about the money. A lot of the biggest money contributing members are asking what's going on with the money. And a lot of them not really doing anything to come out, to show up, or to support anymore, especially after this year's announcements, because people, especially in DC, they know that something's wrong. They know that they're not answering questions. They know that they're covering things up. They know that they're not being honest. They know that they're hiding from the members, whatever it is. And even when it comes to whether it's the top, the stars, whether it's individuals in the middle, they know that this information pertaining to A Street, and if you don't think that something's wrong somewhere, then you're not paying attention. So with all that said, that's all I have. And again, yes, B. Mevdeman, thank you, Eric, for the information that you shared tonight. For all of the rest of you, keep paying attention. The next video, My Best Self series, will be out. I hope to have it out. I don't see anything preventing me from having it out sometime tomorrow. There's some news that will be coming for all of you within the next few days. And you may hear it before I do. If you do hear it before I do, there's going to send shockwaves around the organization, and it's going to send a whole lot of excitement. That's all I'm saying. And this may be over a whole lot sooner than even I thought. But that said, we're just a little bit closer to the finish line. And pretty soon, you all will be hearing about programs being set up so that you all can tap into to get the help that y'all been looking for without having to fill out an application, without having to be a faithful member, none of that nonsense. So with that said, you all enjoy the rest of your evening. We hope that you have a beautiful week ahead, and we hope to see you the next time around. Until next time, have a good one, everybody. We'll see you in the next video.